Here's something I've learned after watching thousands of people over the years. The difference between those who achieve their goals and those who don't has nothing to do with talent, luck, or background. The difference is consistency. The difference is showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. I've watched thousands of people over the years. I've seen the dreamers and I've seen the achievers. And you know what separates them? The dreamers talk about what they're going to do. The achievers do what they said they would do, day after day after day. They understand something that most people never learn. Success is not a single event. Success is a process. Success is the compound effect of doing the right things consistently over time. Think about a tree. You don't plant a seed today and expect to sit in its shade tomorrow. But if you water that seed every day, if you give it sunlight every day, if you care for it consistently, one day you have a mighty oak tree that will provide shade for generations. Your goals are like that seed. Your daily actions are the water and sunlight. Your consistency is what determines whether that seed becomes a mighty tree or withers away. Most people start with great enthusiasm. They set their goals on January 1st with fire in their belly. They're going to lose weight, make more money, build better relationships, read more books. But by February 15th, where are they? Back to their old habits, back to their old ways, back to their old results. Why? Because they never learned the power of consistency. Here's what I want you to understand. Success is not about massive action once in a while. Success is about small actions taken consistently over time. It's about doing the things you need to do when you need to do them, whether you feel like it or not. That's the difference between professionals and amateurs. Amateurs act when they feel like it. Professionals act regardless of how they feel. Let me share something with you that changed my life. When I was 25 years old, I was broke and behind on my promises. I had big dreams but small results. Then I met my mentor, and he taught me something that revolutionized everything. He said, Jim, if you want your life to change, you have to change. If you want your results to get better, you have to get better. And the only way to get better is through consistent, daily improvement. He explained to me that success is not a mystery. It's not magic. It's predictable. If you plant the right seeds and tend to them consistently, you will harvest the results. But if you plant sporadically, if you tend to your garden only when you feel like it, you'll get weeds instead of wheat. The compound effect is real. Small disciplines repeated with consistency every day lead to great achievements gained slowly over time. Small neglects repeated with consistency every day lead to failure and disappointment gained slowly over time. This is the great lesson. What you do today matters. What you do every day matters even more. Most people underestimate what they can accomplish in 5 years and overestimate what they can accomplish in 1 year. They want quick results, instant gratification, overnight success. But that's not how life works. That's not how success works. Success is built day by day, choice by choice, action by action. When you commit to consistency, you're making a decision about who you want to become. You're saying, I am the kind of person who does what I say I will do. I am the kind of person who follows through. I am the kind of person who can be counted on, especially by myself. And here's the beautiful thing about consistency. Once you develop the habit of consistency in one area of your life, it spreads to other areas. When you become consistent with your health, you become more consistent with your work. When you become consistent with your personal development, you become more consistent with your relationships. Consistency, but let me warn you about something. Consistency is not about perfection. You don't have to be perfect to be consistent. You just have to be persistent. You'll have bad days. You'll have setbacks. You'll have times when you fall short. That's not failure unless you quit. That's just being human. The key is to get back on track as quickly as possible. The key is to not let one bad day become 2 bad days, or one bad week become 2 bad weeks. Understanding your why. Now let me ask you this question. Why do you want to achieve your goals? And don't give me some surface answer. Go deeper. What's really driving you? What's the real reason behind your desire for success, for improvement, for change? Most people set goals without understanding their why. They want to make more money, but they don't know why. They want to lose weight, but they haven't connected emotionally to their reasons. They want to build a business, but they haven't thought about what success really means to them. And without a powerful why, consistency becomes nearly impossible. Your why is your fuel. Your why is what gets you up early and keeps you up late. Your why is what pushes you through the difficult times, the boring times, the times when you want to quit. Without a clear, compelling, emotional why, you'll give up at the first sign of difficulty. I learned this lesson the hard way. In my early years, I set goals because I thought I should. I wanted to make more money because everyone wants to make more money. I wanted to be successful because everyone wants to be successful. But those weren't really my reasons. They were society's reasons. They were other people's reasons. And you can't sustain consistency on other people's reasons. Everything changed when I got clear on my personal why. I wanted to provide a better life for my family. I wanted to never again experience the embarrassment of being broke and behind on my promises. I wanted to become the kind of person my children could be proud of. I wanted to develop my potential and see what I was truly capable of achieving. These were my reasons. These were personal. These were emotional. These were powerful. When your why is clear, the how becomes easier. When you know why you're doing something, you'll find a way to do it consistently. When you're emotionally connected to your goals, discipline becomes easier. When you have a compelling reason, excuses disappear. But here's what most people don't understand about finding their why. It's not just about what you want. It's also about what you want to avoid. It's about understanding the cost of not achieving your goals. It's about getting clear on what will happen if you continue on your current path without change. So let me share something profound with you. There are two types of pain in life. There's the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. You're going to experience one or the other. You get to choose. The pain of discipline means doing what you need to do when you need to do it, whether you feel like it or not. It means saying no to immediate gratification for long-term satisfaction. It means making the hard choices that your future self will thank you for. This pain is temporary, and it leads to pride. The pain of regret is looking back and wishing you had done things differently. It's the weight of knowing you could have achieved more, been more, contributed more, if only you had been more consistent with your goals. This pain is permanent, and it leads to despair. Which pain do you choose, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret? The choice is always yours, and you make it every single day with every single decision. Your why must be bigger than your excuses. Your why must be stronger than your fears. Your why must be more compelling than your comfort zone. When you find a why that moves you, that inspires you, that demands the best from you, consistency becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Think about the people you admire most. Think about the people who have achieved great things. They all have one thing in common. They had a powerful why that drove them to be consistent even when it was difficult, even when it was inconvenient, even when they didn't feel like it. Your goals are not separate from who you are. Your goals are an expression of your values, your dreams, your vision for your life. When you align your goals with your deepest values and strongest desires, consistency becomes natural. It becomes part of who you are, not just something you do. Take time to get clear on your why. Write it down. Think about it. Feel it. Connect with it emotionally. Make it so compelling that giving up becomes impossible. Make it so powerful that consistency becomes inevitable. The daily discipline system, here's what I want you to understand about achieving your goals. Success is not about what you do occasionally. Success is about what you do consistently. And consistency is built through daily discipline. It's built through creating systems and habits that support your goals automatically. Most people approach their goals backwards. They focus on the outcome instead of the process. They think about where they want to be instead of what they need to do today to get there. But here's the truth. You don't control outcomes, you only control actions. You don't control results, you only control effort. And when you focus on controlling what you can control, the results take care of themselves. The key is to break your big goals down into daily actions. What do you need to do every single day to move closer to your goals? Not what you need to do when you feel like it, not what you need to do when it's convenient, what you need to do every single day, regardless of how you feel or what's happening around you. Now let me give you an example. If your goal is to read 50 books this year, you don't need to read 50 books today. You need to read about one book per week. You don't need to read one book this week. You need to read about 15 pages per day. 15 pages per day is manageable. 15 pages per day is doable. 15 pages per day, done consistently, will get you to 50 books per year. This is how you build momentum. This is how you create compound growth. This is how you achieve goals that seem impossible. You break them down into daily actions that seem inevitable. But here's the key. These daily actions must be non-negotiable. They must be like brushing your teeth. You don't negotiate with yourself about whether to brush your teeth. You don't wait until you feel like brushing your teeth. You just do it because it's part of who you are. Your goal activities must become the same way. I call these non-negotiable activities your fundamentals. These are the basic activities that, done consistently, will guarantee your success. For someone who wants to build wealth, the fundamentals might be saving money daily, learning about investments daily, and working on increasing income daily. For someone who wants to get in shape, the fundamentals might be exercising daily, eating properly daily, and getting enough sleep daily. The beautiful thing about fundamentals is that they're simple. They're not complicated. Anyone can do them. The challenge is that they're so simple, anyone cannot do them too. And therein lies the difference between success and failure, between those who achieve their goals and those who don't. Start small, but start today. Don't try to change everything at once. Don't try to be perfect from day one. Pick one or two fundamental activities that support your most important goal and commit to doing them every single day for the next 30 days. Not when you feel like it, not when it's convenient, every single day. Track your progress. What gets measured gets improved. Keep a record of your daily actions. This serves two purposes. First, it keeps you accountable to yourself. Second, it shows you the power of consistency over time. When you can look back and see 30 days of consistent action, 60 days of consistent action, 90 days of consistent action, you'll start to believe in yourself in a way you never have before. Create systems that support your consistency. Make it easier to do the right thing and harder to do the wrong thing. If you want to exercise in the morning, lay out your workout clothes the night before. If you want to eat healthier, prepare your meals in advance. If you want to read more, keep a book on your nightstand and turn off the television. Your environment shapes your behavior more than your willpower does. Design your environment to support your goals. Remove temptations. Add reminders. Surround yourself with people who support your commitment to consistency. And here's something most people never consider. Celebrate your consistency. Acknowledge yourself for showing up. Recognize the power of what you're doing. Every day you stick to your fundamentals, you're becoming a different person. Every day you follow through on your commitments to yourself, you're building trust with yourself. Every day you choose discipline over impulse, you're creating the life you want. Overcoming consistency killers. Let me tell you about the enemies of consistency. These are the things that will try to derail you from your goals. These are the obstacles that separate the dreamers from the achievers. If you want to be consistent with your goals, you must learn to recognize these enemies and defeat them. The first enemy is perfectionism. Perfectionism is not your friend. Perfectionism is not high standards. Perfectionism is fear disguised as excellence. Perfectionism says, if I can't do it perfectly, I won't do it at all. And that's the end of consistency right there. Here's what you need to understand. Progress is better than perfection. Done is better than perfect. Consistent imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. You don't have to be perfect to be successful. You just have to be persistent. I've seen too many people quit because they had one bad day. They missed one workout and decided they were failures. They ate one bad meal and threw away their entire nutrition plan. They skipped reading one day and abandoned their personal development goals. This is perfectionism destroying consistency. When you have a setback, and you will have setbacks, get back on track immediately. Don't wait until Monday. Don't wait until next month. Don't wait until next year. Get back on track today. The faster you recover from mistakes, the stronger your consistency becomes. The second enemy is all or nothing thinking. This is the mindset that says you either do everything or you do nothing. If you can't work out for an hour, you don't work out at all. If you can't read for 30 minutes, you don't read at all. If you can't follow your entire plan perfectly, you abandon the plan completely. But life doesn't work that way. There will be days when you can only give 50%. There will be days when you can only do the minimum. That's okay. Something is always better than nothing. A 10-minute walk is better than no walk. Reading one page is better than reading no pages. Making one sales call is better than making no sales call. Consistency is not about being perfect. Consistency is about showing up, even when you can't give your best, especially when you can't give your best. Because showing up when it's hard builds the muscle of consistency stronger than showing up when it's easy. The third enemy is the excuse factory. We all have one. It's that voice in our head that comes up with perfectly reasonable explanations for why we can't do what we committed to do today. It's too hot. It's too cold. It's too early. It's too late. I'm too tired. I'm too busy. I don't have time. I don't have energy. Here's the truth about excuses. They sound reasonable to you, but they sound like excuses to everyone else. And more importantly, they don't move you closer to your goals. An excuse has never built a business, lost weight, improved a relationship, or achieved a dream. Only action does that. When you catch yourself making excuses, ask yourself this question: is this excuse more important than my goal? Usually the answer is no. Usually the excuse is about temporary discomfort, but the goal is about permanent improvement. The fourth enemy is lack of energy and burnout. This happens when people try to change too much too fast. They take on too many goals at once. They try to transform their entire life overnight. They burn out and quit. Here's a better approach. Focus on one or two major goals at a time. Give those goals your full attention and energy. Master consistency in those areas before adding new goals. It's better to achieve 2 goals consistently than to fail at 10 goals inconsistently. Also, understand that consistency requires recovery. You can't go all out every single day without rest. Build recovery into your system. Plan for rest days. Plan for maintenance periods. Plan for times when you just maintain your current level instead of trying to improve. The fifth enemy is distraction. We live in a world of infinite distractions. Social media, news, entertainment, other people's emergencies. Every day something will try to pull you away from your goals. Something will try to steal your time and attention. Successful people are not people who can do everything. Successful people are people who can say no to almost everything so they can say yes to the few things that matter most. Protect your time. Protect your energy. Protect your focus. Your goals deserve your best, not your leftovers. Create boundaries. Turn off notifications. Schedule specific times for checking email and social media. Learn to say no to requests that don't align with your goals. Remember, every yes to something unimportant is a no to something important. Living the consistent life. Now let me tell you what happens when you truly commit to consistency. When you make consistency a way of life, not just something you do occasionally. When you become the kind of person who can be trusted, especially by yourself, to do what you say you will do, first you develop unshakable confidence. Not the fake confidence that comes from talking big or pretending to be something you're not. The real confidence that comes from keeping promises to yourself. Every day you follow through on your commitments, you build trust with yourself. Every day you do what you said you would do, you prove to yourself that you can be relied upon. This self-trust is the foundation of all achievement. When you know without a doubt that you will do what you commit to do, goal achievement becomes inevitable. It's no longer a question of if, only when. This kind of confidence can't be shaken by external circumstances because it's built on internal integrity. Second, consistency becomes your identity. You stop being someone who tries to be consistent and become someone who is consistent. It's no longer something you have to think about or struggle with. It's just who you are. People know you as someone who follows through. You know yourself as someone who can be counted on. When consistency becomes part of your identity, it affects every area of your life. Your relationships improve because people know they can depend on you. Your career advances because employers and clients know you deliver on your promises. Your health improves because you consistently make good choices. Your finances improve because you consistently save and invest. Third, you start to see the compound effect in action. Results that seemed impossible start to manifest. The book you've been writing by working on it 15 minutes a day gets finished. The business you've been building by making 3 calls a day starts to grow. The relationship you've been improving by having 1 meaningful conversation a week gets stronger. The compound effect is like interest on interest. It starts slow, almost imperceptibly, but then it accelerates. The longer you stay consistent, the faster your results compound. This is why most people quit too early. They don't stay consistent long enough to see the compound effect take hold. Fourth, you become an inspiration to others. People start asking you how you do it. How do you stay so disciplined? How do you maintain such consistency? How do you achieve your goals when so many others fail? And the answer is simple. You decided to become the kind of person who does what they say they will do, regardless of how they feel. Your consistency gives others permission to be consistent too. Your example shows them what's possible. Your success proves that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary results through extraordinary consistency. Fifth, you start living with intention instead of by accident. Most people drift through life reacting to circumstances, going wherever the wind blows them. But when you commit to consistency, you start steering your own ship. You start creating your life by design instead of living by default. Every day becomes purposeful. Every action becomes meaningful. Every choice becomes a building block in the life you're creating. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start being the architect of your destiny. But here's what I want you to understand most of all. The consistent life is not a life without problems. It's not a life without setbacks. It's not a life without challenges. It's a life where you face those problems, setbacks, and challenges with the confidence that comes from knowing you can handle whatever comes your way. When you develop the habit of consistency, you develop the ability to persist through any obstacle. You develop the strength to overcome any setback. You develop the faith to keep going when you can't see the end of the tunnel. The consistent life is a life of power, not power over others, but power over yourself. Not power to control circumstances, but power to control your response to circumstances. Not power to avoid problems. And here's my final challenge to you. Don't let this be just another speech you heard. Don't let this be just another motivational message that makes you feel good for a few minutes and then gets forgotten. Let this be the moment you decide to become a different kind of person. Let this be the moment you decide to become someone who can be trusted to follow through. Someone who does what they say they will do. Someone who achieves their goals not through luck or talent, but through the simple power of showing up every single day. Your goals are waiting for you. Your dreams are calling to you. Your potential is ready to be unleashed. But none of that matters unless you develop the consistency to act on it every single day. The time for excuses is over. The time for starting tomorrow is over. The time for waiting until you feel ready is over. The time for consistency is now. Your life is now. Your goals are now. What will you do today to move closer to your goals? What will you do tomorrow? What will you do every day for the next 90 days? Make that commitment, write it down, start today, and then do it again tomorrow, and then do it again the day after that, because that's how dreams become reality. That's how goals become achievements. That's how ordinary people create extraordinary lives, one day at a time, one choice at a time, one consistent action at a time. The power is in your hands. The choice is yours. The time is now. Learn to be consistent with your goals and watch as your entire life transforms before your very eyes.